Hey, what's going on? Good afternoon. It's Tim back here again. This is volume 3 of the isolation series. So good news is I finally got a test coming up, a COVID test. I could take one tomorrow. So hopefully I'll be clear by Wednesday. So it's looking up. But we do have been getting a lot of questions and a lot of questions last week. I was getting a lot of questions about updating for the new FY. So I decided that now that the cat's out the bag and a lot of people already have been told what's going to be the changes go as far as retention, I'm going to speak on it. Okay. So first and foremost, shout out to NCOPD Live. They gave me a hoodie. I'm wearing it. Also, shout out to Staff Sergeant D Hicks, soon to be Sergeant First Class D Hicks. Um, Always show love to all these other brands and these other platforms that we have for the military. All right, so a lot of things are changing on the 1st of October. Come this new FY for FY 22, right? First and foremost, the re-enlistment opportunity window. Currently, it's 15 months. Come 1 October, we're going to a 12-month re-enlistment opportunity window. So that's going to make it a little bit streamline it. It's going to take you a little bit longer to come into your window, 3 months, right? But at the same time, it's so the Army can handle its end strength, and it gives a little bit more flexibility to big Army to adjust where we have to go and what we're doing. Another thing that we talked about, right? So what we talked about that now you can still have people start your career counselor start working on things before you actually get into the 12 months. We can start working assignments and schools for you. Once you hit about 13 months, because we can lock you in for something up to 30 days. So if there's an assignment out there that you want, go see a career counselor. They might be able to have it for you. You just won't be able to re-enlist until you hit that 12-month re-enlistment opportunity window. All right, so that's a big change. It's 3 months. That's no big. All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened. StreamYard kicked me out, but I'm here, right? So, like I was saying, shout out to D Hicks. Congratulations on getting promoted. Then we also talked about the role and Reenlistment opportunity window. In case you just joined on and you saw a black screen, right? So starting October 1st, the Reenlistment opportunity window is now going to be 12 months. That's down from 15 months that it currently is, and that's just it's not a big deal. And like I was saying, you can work stuff up to 30 days beforehand. Before you go into your actual window, your career counselor can start working things for you. So always be proactive, don't be reactive. Another big change that we got asked for a couple of times last week was about the career status program, right? Starting on October 1st, the career status program will be going from 12 years for a staff sergeant to re-enlist to go into the NCO career status program and re-enlist for an indefinite period of time, to going down to 10 years. The old in-depth program, right? So a lot of y'all always still call it the in-depth program. I can't wait till I can re-enlist to go in-depth. I hear that all the time, right? The NCO career status program is now going to be 10 years instead of 12. All right. So if you're at 10 years and you're a staff sergeant, you could be re-enlisting for a very, very long time. I will tell you that myself personally, when I re-enlisted in the old in-depth program, it was 112 months on my contract. That seems like a lot when you put it in months, right? It's really not that long, but in months it seems extremely long. So yes, you will be going down to a 12-month to 10 years for the NCO career status program. Also, another change this year, careerists would be able to get mid-career options. So what that means is, right, we talked about options last week. There's 5 re-enlistment options, right? As a careerist, you're really only entitled to, depending on the strength of your MOS, you're really only entitled to regular Army re-enlistment option. That's if you're in a balanced or understrength MOS, or Army or regular Army re-enlistment option, and Army training re-enlistment option, where you reclass or get an ASI, SQI if you're in an overstrength MOS, right? So that's something that's changed. So this year, we are not going to be giving careerists those opportunities. They will not get mid-career options. And that's a way for the branch managers to help you out a little bit more and give you more flexibility yourself and taking control of things. And it helps Big Army maintain the strength and where they need everything to go. Also, this year and last year, the last couple of years, we've had this thing called a whiskey code extension. That's a re-enlistment opportunity window extension, where you could re-enlist for 12 months and you would get stabilized at the place that you're at, and it would give you a little bit more time. So let's say you were working on trying to get you an assignment or going to school, you would be able to do this extension and then give yourself a little bit more time to work on it, right? And now it was 12 months and you would get 9 months of stabilization. This year, it's going to be a minimum of 18 months. All right. So soldiers, you might want to go and talk to your career counselor. It might be better off in your best interest to do a stabilization re-enlistment. And then when you do a current station stable re-enlistment option, you also get usually the installation will have stuff like the school incentive and no duty on the duty roster, or letting you go to a local school, military school. So that's something that might entice you to do that instead. So it's always better to just do the re-enlistment instead of doing the actual extension. Because if you want to think about it like an analogy, it's like almost like when you do I've seen soldiers who've done 2, 3, 4 whiskey code extensions, and all they're really doing is kicking the can down the road, right? That's all they're doing. They're not really trying to do anything. They're just buying more time. And why not buy time and get a little bit of something with it? So do a 2-year re-enlistment with current station stabilization. Maybe go to school for a little while. Knock all that good stuff out. So just a couple of things. Matt, thank you for hitting me up. Matt's on here. I'm getting a man to him. That's not really true, but I appreciate it. Shantae's on here. She's like my hype man. She just saying everything I was saying. Careers will not get mid-career options this FY, not at all, right? Also, the 12-month row, which is different, but it's not. The reason why if you really want to get to the weeds of things, the reason why you have 15 months was because we used to have the 90-day window, right? So when you got to the 90 days before ETS, you were not allowed to re-enlist unless HRC gave you an exceptional policy. So that was what that extra 3 months was for. Now that we haven't had that 90-day window in effect for forever, for at least the last few FYs, we went back down to a 12-month row. It's still the same amount of time. You're still going to have the same amount of time that you did previously have in the re-enlistment opportunity window. You're just going to get it back in there again. And like I said, the whiskey code extensions, the re-enlistment opportunity window extensions, is now going to be a minimum of 18 months instead of 12. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And like I was saying, you might want to just do a 2-year re-enlistment for current station stabilization and get something out of it instead. And then like I said, this year, 10-year career status program, the in-depth program, people say in-depth, the NCO career status program is now going to be at the 10-year mark. Staff sergeants with over 10 years or more. So you could be at 10 years on the dot when you re-enlist. You raise your right hand and do your re-enlistment ceremony. You've just went into the NCO career status program now. So that's going to take you out to the RCP for a staff sergeant is 20 years. It's going to take you out. That's going to be a 10-year re-enlistment. All right. That's a long time in months, I'm telling you, but it's not that long. And you're already almost there. All right. So instead of 10, it's back down to 12. So like I was saying, there's no 90-day window this year. If you guys have questions, make sure you hit us up. We're always here. We answer your questions. I have nothing better to do, obviously. I got knocked out of my Madden tournament real early this morning, and I just been doing work stuff, and I needed to take a break and let out some stuff. But hey, sorry, people out there, if you're watching, please make sure you go see a career counselor. Take advantage and take control of your career. At the end of the day, it's your career. Nobody's gonna help. Nobody's gonna make you do anything that you don't want to do, but nobody's gonna force you to do things that you should do at the same time. I'll tell you, if you have additional duties, you can have 1 million additional duties, right? There's all types of them out there. You have your key control NCO, your fire extinguisher control NCO, your bathroom cleanup roster NCO, your building physical security NCO. You have all these additional duties that are out there. If you ever get the chance to, I will tell you, go and become your unit's retention NCO, right? And then you get to learn from some of the best NCOs there are in the Army as career counselors. They are career counselors. They're 79 Sierras. They're not retention NCOs. A lot of times they'll get thrown into that and be called that. But I'll tell you, if you ever get the chance to do that, make sure that you go and see them. All right. And make sure you can do that job. You get to go to school. There's a 40-hour course that will come to your installation or a close enough installation that you can go to. It's called DART, the Department of the Army Retention Training. And it's taught by some of the best instructors there are in the Army, let alone in the entire military, honestly. And you get a 40-hour course. If you're trying to get promoted, that counts as promotion points. It's an ATARS course, right? Also, don't forget about that, what we talked about last week when we talked about the in and out calls updated. They changed, right? So make sure you go and see, is your job balanced? Is it over strength? Is it under strength? That's going to tell you a lot about promotions, right? We also talked about SRB. We talked about the bonus message last week. That goes into effect on the 29th of September. On the 29th of September. So you need to go see a career counselor. If you have a bonus right now in the current bonus message that might be worth more than in the next one, by all means, go and go see your career counselor now. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get hit, be caught and get less money from the Army. Take as much money as you can from the Army. I'll tell you, there's a lot of changes going on, but the more things change, the more they stay the same. All right. Just kind of like how I get stuck on. I'm on isolation now because more things change. You think it's getting better. It's just gonna stay the same if we don't all do right. So let's go out there. Let's go see our career counselors. Let's go see if they got any SR. If you have a bonus, if you got a new job that you might be looking for. If you want to be a take charge NCO, I charge you to go and ask your unit if they don't have a unit retention NCO. Volunteer to do that. Best by far, the best additional duty you can have in the entire Army, let alone. And then it could lead to you becoming a career counselor at 79 Sierra. What's up, Latasha Knight? I see you. You seeing me? You got eyes? I got eyes too. We out here. So if you have any questions, not going to just sit here and ramble. If we don't got any questions, I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon and call it a day. But like I said, just to highlight a couple of things that we talked about, the re-enlistment opportunity window, the row, that has changed. It is now gone from 15 months back down to 12. right? So you might not be coming in your re-enlistment opportunity window as fast as you thought you were. And then we also talked about the NCO Career Status Program. The NCO Career Status Program is going from being in it at 12 to now starting on 1 October in less than 2 weeks. It's going down to 10 years. So that means that once you go into the NCO Career Status Program, you re-enlist as a staff sergeant or more, like a staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant. If you have over 10 years, then bam, you can go and you'll be re-enlisting for an indefinite period of time, right? Which is good, right? It sounds like a lot, but it's good because you're guaranteed to go to retirement. All right. TJ Walker, I got coins, man. We got coins for days. Well, they have coins over there at 7 Trans. I know that's what you're talking about. So go see Sergeant Bingham and them, and they always gonna be over there. They'll square you away. Pedro Acuna. So if we have less than 90 days to ETS, could we re-enlist if we find something we want? Yeah, most definitely. You can honestly re-enlist all the way up to the last day. I will tell you, do not do that though, right? Because once you get really close to your ETS date, the way that DFAS does it, they'll drop you from their roles. So what happens is they will already take you out of the pay system before you even leave the Army. So like, let's say a lot of times what happens is we have soldiers, especially like medical conditions and medical extensions, they'll wait until maybe like 2 weeks before their ETS date to tell us that they need to get it. And then what will happen is we'll pre-warn them, hey, you might miss out on a paycheck or two because the way DFAS works, and they'll always have that. So don't wait. If you got 90 days, go see your career counselor, Pedro. Go see them all day. They'll take care of you. All right. Sammy, our MOS conversion bonuses come back. I don't control the money. I don't control who says what, who gets what, and what conversions they get. So I can't tell you, but I mean, what's here one day might not be here tomorrow, but it'll come back. It always comes back, man. It's always a circle. It's full circle, right? So they're gonna come back, and the bonuses probably will some type of conversion bonus. I don't know which ones there are, but there will be some. John Carble, what are officers for soldiers needing to extend to meet the service remaining requirements for Sergeant First Class? Now, depends, right? You can only do an extension for a certain period of time. So the extension can't be more than 23 months. So we might as well just re-enlist to meet that SRR for Sergeant First Class. Just re-enlist. This is cool. Just re-enlist. When you re-enlist, you're going to be a senior non-commissioned officer now. It's showing you showing them, hey, you know what? I'm taking initiative. Go re-enlist if you can. If not, you can go see a career counselor and they'll square you away. Isaac Vasquez, my guy, I appreciate that. Army Re-Enlistment team. Yeah, they are spitting knowledge, but I'm just up here just talking. Jeff Nolan. So 10 years for in-depth now. Sorry, caught the back end of explaining it. So in layman's terms, yes, Jeff. The NCO Career Status Program, which replaced the old indefinite re-enlistment program, is now going to 10 years. So like I was saying, if you're a staff sergeant and on day of re-enlistment have 10 or more years total active federal service, you would now be re-enlisting for the NCO Career Status Program. And that would be an indefinite period of time. All right. What? When does the window of re-enlistment open? It opens when you hit 12 months. The re-enlistment opportunity window opens for 12 months from ETS for you. So whenever your 12 months is, now depending on when your ETS date is and all that good stuff. But the easy answer, the re-enlistment opportunity window opens up on the 12th month from ETS. Hope that makes your answer. Hey, Jeff, no problem. All right. So if we don't have any more questions, just I'm gonna hit on a couple more. I'm just gonna recap one last time, and then I'm gonna call it a day, right? So we're talking about the changes that are going into effect on October 1st. The first one, big one, the re-enlistment opportunity window is going from 15 months right now, currently, to 12 months. All right, 15 months to 12 months. All right, so now it's not really losing time because there's no 90-day window anymore. So you're good. So that's not a big deal. The NCO Career Status Program, that's going to change from being starting at 12 years on October 1st. It's going to go back to 10 years, right? Like the old indefinite re-enlistment program. All right. And then we also talked about the re-enlistment opportunity window extension. Career counselors call them a whiskey code extension. That's when you're in your re-enlistment opportunity window and you choose to extend instead of re-enlisting. That minimum extension now is going to be 18 months. So you might as well do a 2-year re-enlistment, get you some some type of benefit from it, right? You re-enlist for current station stabilization and go on and get you some school incentive or something. Victor asks, how often do balanced MOSs drop classics? Classics is crazy. Like, so we really don't, I can't tell you it like they're going to drop on this day or this day. It's like random. So like school seats are always popping up, populating. So balanced MOSs, we will get school seats for them, but they come and they go fast. So stay in contact with your career counselor, and your career counselor, tell them what kind of MOS you have an idea for that you want to do. And then they'll be able to square you away. All right. So I can't give you a definitive answer on how often they drop, but they do drop periodically and like randomly. So I can't tell you how often, but I do know that they do drop. Shantae said careers will now get their favorite re-enlistment option. Option 1. That's the best option in the Army, songs. Regular Army re-enlistment options. That's what you're going to do what the Army needs you to do. And the Army's going to take and put you where you're best needed. You're like a free agent kind of, right? You're like a hired hitman, so to speak. You'll go, you do what you got to do. All right. Daniel, expand on what? If you tell me what you want me to expand on, I got you. All right. So write that in the comments. Cody says, if I'm over 10 years and I'm needs of the Army, do I have to wait for my ask them to open up, even though I have 14 months left? All right. So your ask them is going to be what tells you what to go in. So once you have over 10 years, you're going to become what we consider a careerist. And like we were saying, careerists will not get mid-career options this year. So careerists will only get regular Army re-enlistment option 1, or if they're an overstrength MOS, they'll get option 3, Army training re-enlistment option. So either go and get a new job that's balanced or understrength, or get an ASI in their current MOS that's needed. All right. With you being 14 months left from ETS, when you hit that 12-month mark, you're gonna be in your re-enlistment opportunity window, and you'll re-enlist Cody for the NCO Career Status Program, and it'll give you at about a nine and some change re-enlistment, but it's in months. All right, so that's not too bad. All right, hope that answers your question. Rad, you all right? Option 1 is the best one. It's my favorite option. I've never got to re-enlist for anything other than option 1. I've literally only got to re-enlist for option 1. When I became a career counselor, I told myself I was going to make sure I got me something good. I came in my re-enlistment window, all right, and I was thinking I was going to be able to be like, oh yeah, I'm a career counselor. I'm going to make sure I rig the game. I'm going to give me Hawaii, built myself, and that was built myself, which you're not supposed to do. Tried to lock myself in, which you also not supposed to do. And there was only one option in there. Option 1, regular Army re-enlistment option. So I was like, oh, this can't be right. So I deleted myself, and then I put myself back in. And then I went and I went back in, same thing. Went to go see my senior career counselor, and he was like, dummy, you a career counselor. And he threw the regulation at me and told me to look at the chapter. And I was like, oh, I only get option 1. But it's the best option. All right. I've been able to go to great places off of option 1 re-enlistment. So that's not a bad thing. All right. Daniel. All right, so expand on the option 1 thing. For instance, branch is always directed where I go, regardless of my request. As a staff sergeant with 8 years, I'll be over 10 when I re-up for career status. How do I go about getting stationed where I want to? All right, so make sure you're keeping your original ask updated as much as possible. When asking comes into effect, that's something that you might want to. Now, depending on what you want, station somewhere where you want, it all depends on your MOS. And if you're not going to be at 10 before you get there, if you're going to be in your re-enlistment window before you hit 10, like your ETS is if your ETS is before 10, you can still get re-enlistment options. Now, if your re-enlistment takes you past 10 years of total active federal service, your ETS date is, then you're what we consider a careerist, and you'll be regular Army. Now you go work with your branch manager and talk to your career counselor. Career counselors, a lot of times the soldiers will come to me, they can't get options. I'll call their branch manager for them. I used to be able to do that a lot, or we'll work on something to try to get you somewhere that you want to go. All right, so it's if you want to get somewhere that you want to get stationed, work on it. I don't know where you want to get stationed. I can't really expand on that, but because I don't know. But we can work on it. Go see a career counselor, and they'll help you out. All right, hope that helps out, Daniel. What after 10 years re-enlist? Do you have any other re-enlistment? So once you re-enlist, if you're asked, I'm guessing this is me interpreting this question. This comment is that after 10 years, you re-enlist for the NCO Career Status Program. Do you get any other re-enlistments? Nope, you do not. Your ETS date now gets adjusted to your RCP date. So if I re-enlist as a staff sergeant at 10 years on the dot, My ETS date is going to take me to my RCP control point, which would be the last month of my 20-year mark, the last day of the month for my 20-year mark. All right. And then I'll be able to retire the next day. And if you get promoted to Sergeant First Class, your ETS date automatically gets adjusted. And you make you get promoted to Master Sergeant after that. Guess what? Your ETS date gets adjusted again. And then you make Sergeant Major. And then guess what? The ETS date gets adjusted again. All right. So after that, you go into the NCO Career Status Program. There's no more re-enlistments, but your Army career is going to keep going. And it's going to be based on you, how long you get to keep it going and how long you want to. All right. So last recap, and then I'm going to call it a day because I don't have any more questions. The re-enlistment opportunity window come 1 October will be 12 months instead of 15 months. The NCO Career Status Program is going to go from 12 years, starting at 12 years to starting at 10 years, like the old indefinite re-enlistment program. And then also the re-enlistment opportunity window row extension is now going to be a minimum of 18 months. And lastly, careerists will not get mid-career options anymore. So careerists, that means your ETS date, on the day of ETS, you have over 10 years of total active federal service. You will now just be getting regular Army re-enlistment option or Army training re-enlistment option, depending on the strength of your MOS. Anthony asks, does the re-up for in-depth affect the continuation pay bonus? No, it does not. Just going to give you the time to get to 20. I'm not in the continuation. I'm in the old system. I like knowing that I'm going to be able to retire at 20 and get my retirement. I know what it is, but it will not affect your continuation pay bonus. All right. Frankie asks, for those of us past 10 but not past 12 years, will we be moved to in-depth? No, you will not be moved to in-depth until you actually go into the NCO Career Status Program. So you're not a part of it yet, right? So it hasn't changed yet. So once you go and you're coming to your next re-enlistment window, your re-enlistment opportunity window, that time you could be at 12, 13. You can still that's when you'll be going into the NCO Career Status Program and re-enlist for an indefinite period of time. I hope that makes sense, Frank. What is early retirement coming back? I don't know. I don't get me lying. That's definitely outside of my lane. That's not the retention lane. I don't want you to retire. I want people to stay in the Army. I don't want them to get out. That's just not what the Career Council wants. But I don't know about early retirement coming back, man. I have no idea. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, come 1 October, re-enlistment opportunity window. It's gonna go from 15 months to 12 months. The NCO Career Status Program come 1 October is going to go from starting at 12 years to 10 years at the 10-year point for staff sergeants and above, right? Then your careerists, that's anybody whose ETS date takes them past 10 years, they will not get mid-career options this year. And then lastly, the re-enlistment opportunity window extension, the whiskey code extension, it is going to be a minimum of 18 months. And before I go, I just have to make sure you understand this. Panda, this is Kevin Robinson. He said it's a Cam jersey in the watch. That was not a Cam jersey. I don't wear people that used to be on my team's stuff. I'm past that. That was a Mac Jones jersey. So yeah, and the pass looked real good yesterday too, by the way. So that's it. Y'all stay safe. Hopefully we won't be having too many more of these isolation sessions. And I'm out. All right. If you have any questions, always hit us up. All right. Peace.